Okay, we are back with another video. As I aforementioned on this channel, basically I take a subject matter and I elaborate it. I make it easier to understand. There's so many ideas out there that we can't really understand. It's just too boring, too much work to go and get the information, but we want to learn. It's our intrinsic need to learn. So we do. So we seek knowledge. And so today I will be talking about nihilism, the art of nothingness. We always got to start off with our fun fact. So I'm going to start with Brad Pitt's Tyler Durden from the 1999 movie Fight Club. It's been greatly disputed on whether he was a nihilist. You can look this up online. People want to say he was absurdist or nihilist. We'll get into these conceptual, philosophy type things in this video. But this is a good movie. I would advise you to check it out. But you might be saying, what is a nihilist? Well, you know what? We'll get right back into that. So a quick summary for you is nihilism is the rejection of all religious and moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless. Okay. So that comes off pretty depressing off rip, but to my understanding, it's not depressing because that would be a meaning. So it's like accepting nothingness. It's hard to understand this as somebody who's not a nihilist, but as an information pusher on this channel, I fight to stay unbiased for you guys. So I'm just pushing the information. So with this nihilist concept, I'll add some background coming up here so I could give a little perspective. You guys could sort of understand it. But yeah, there's a bunch of different types of nihilism. There's a bunch of different philosophies close to nihilism. But yeah, in its foundation, it's that. It's, belief that nothing means anything at all. Nothing means nothing, maybe. Are those the same thing? I don't know. Ask a nihilist. I'm not one of them, but I'm not going to get political because that's not what we do on Enzo Elaborates. But I figured I'd throw in this thought-provoking image of a skeleton human with a baby in its brain smoking a crack pipe that is producing butterflies as the smoke. That might make you nihilists think deep. But this is no hate to nihilists. I'm seeking knowledge here. So this is an unbiased perspective on nihilism. All right, so getting into how it was popularized, this took some tough research, but basically there's a novelist, Ivan Turgenev, maybe is that how you say his name, first wrote about the concept, but how it really was popularized was Friedrich Nietzsche. I hope I'm not saying his name wrong. I know of Nietzsche. I never say Friedrich first, though. Friedrich. It's probably Friedrich. Nietzsche, obviously, he was one of those big philosophers. He was around in the Freud era. Those well-known guys who were really pushing some good philosophy, but they had some weird stuff coupled in there, too. Those big mustache dudes. I mean, honestly, the mustache is coupled with the conviction. They were able to convince a lot of people of a lot of things, and some of them were good and some of them were interesting. Who am I to say anything was wrong ever? But yeah, Nietzsche wrote a ton of books, and he was best known for his philosophies around like the state of being and what it all really means and existentialism and all that stuff. And it's important to emphasize, and I saw this a lot on the internet, that Nietzsche was not actually a nihilist. He was against nihilism because he thought that the nihilists gave up too soon on the meaning of life. And he said, idealism leads to nihilism because people have lost value in human or reality things. So I think he's basically saying people who've dove too far into religion, and then when their religion loses value, they lose value in everything because they've placed that at a higher level, if that makes sense. Enzo elaborates. Trying my best to make sense of it all here. So yeah, Nietzsche, he's deep in the philosophy of thinking about thinking. That's how it goes for these guys. So check Nietzsche's stuff out. I plan to eventually. We might do a different episode on Nietzsche. Dark guy, but deep guy. Maybe a good guy. Who knows? I think he wanted people to find some stuff out. So I want to find some stuff out. All right, getting into a little memes here to lighten it up. I had to actually put this on here because I couldn't put the definition in my own words. So the three closest beliefs are existentialism, nihilism, and absurdism. So I'm just going to read these real quick, okay? Existentialism is the belief that through a combination of awareness, free will, and personal responsibility, one can construct their own meaning within a world that intrinsically has none of its own. You've heard of the existential crisis, people trying to figure out who they are. What does it all really mean? That's tied to the existentialism side of it. What is this all about? But you can also create the meaning in existentialism. So it's called a crisis because crisis can be averted. There you go. I think we all have had our existential crisis. And then you tweak out for a little bit and then you lock back in, right? And then there's nihilism. We got the Rick and Morty memes here. This is good stuff. Hopefully you guys watch. That's a good show. Maybe Rick and Morty episode. I don't know. We can do anything we want on this channel or in life in general. But that's not a nihilistic perspective. Actually, you could do it, but it wouldn't mean anything. There you go. You could do nothing. It would mean nothing, even though you're doing something. Nihilism. Nihilism is the belief that not only is there no intrinsic meaning in the universe, but that it's also pointless to try to construct one's own out of substitute. The font is so small I can't even read. I'm trying to extrapolate here. I know how to read, trust me. I know how to read. I have an elaboration YouTube channel. And then absurdism is the belief that a search for meaning is inherently in conflict with the actual lack of meaning, but that one should both accept this and simultaneously rebel against it by embracing what life has to offer. So I think absurdism is just saying like everything is so absurd and it's absurd to even try to make sense out of it. So you should just go like fucking nuts with it and stuff. I like that one a little bit. I think that one's pretty cool if you don't have a faith. Some people have a faith, though, so they don't need that one. And then we got this little Chad meme here. Life has no meaning. For the nihilist, they say, I know. Life has no meaning. For the existentialist, they say, I will make my own. And absurdists, life has no meaning. I don't care. They don't care. So there's those definitions for you. So let's get into the takeaways. Nihilism is associated with some sort of, people make it dark and stuff. And I think it is kind of dark, but it's also just a philosophy. Like if you have a philosophy that believes in nothing, you believe in that philosophy, so you believe in something. And this is how meaning is created in the first place. My takeaway is I'm not nihilist. I do believe in something, but I try not to judge people for what they believe in, especially if they're passionate about it. So takeaway 1 is try to be understanding of other people's beliefs. This is difficult for me sometimes, but we won't get political about it. I keep saying political. It's just the nature of the game. Hate it or love it, the underdog is on top. But my actual takeaway from this is philosophy, you get pretty deep in your own head with this stuff, and it's almost hard to lose, almost hard to stay focused, and pretty easy to lose yourself in it all. So I heard this quote the other day in the movie Dune 2, now in theaters. Please sponsor me, Dune 2 director, and give me some money. But yeah, ready for this quote? This is a banger. This was in the first Dune. The mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience. A process that cannot be understood by stopping it. We must move with the flow of the process. We must join in it. We must flow with it. Maybe we just gotta stop trying to figure it out and just let it ride. Well, it's another video for Enzo Elaborates. Hopefully you learned a little bit about nihilism here, and comment down below what you'd like to see next.